buying a house can be romantic.
It's a bit like finding a lover, isn't it?
My heart is saying yes.
There's always a honeymoon period.
But if you're not careful, things can quickly turn sour.
I don't think you're convinced.
I think I am.
What sort of time do you call this?
Rush hour.
It's not rush hour, you haven't rushed anywhere.
But in the end, you've just got to cross your fingers and hope for a happy ending. This week, we're in the home counties, helping two couples with very different budgets, circumstances and outlooks.
But they do have one thing in common. Their searches have become seemingly endless, and it's our job to sort them out.
Beautiful countryside, top-notch property stock and excellent schools, all within spitting distance of the capital. It doesn't take a genius to see why the home counties are so popular. So popular, in fact, that house prices in this week's search areas are more than 40% over the national average.
So that's why I'm coming to the rescue of Sarah and Ian Morgan-Freeman. They run a successful marketing agency together, and all is fine with their lives, apart from the fact they've sold the house they loved, a fine Victorian property in Hedgerley, Buckinghamshire.
It's the most perfect house we'd ever imagined. It had a really big heart.
The arrival of their son Samuel kicked off the hunt for a bigger house. But after 3.5 years of searching and 90 viewings, it's all got a bit obsessional. Even with £1 million to spend, nothing has ever quite matched up to their beloved ex-home.
I think we're very clear-minded about what we want. You could call that picky.
I wouldn't use the word picky. I'd say focus with a shared attention to detail.
There's the sound of a marketing man. Sarah and Ian have been stuck in rented for nearly 2 years and have now accepted they need some help. Tell me about the house in Hedgerley.
We got married in the church behind the house. We had our reception in the field next to the house. Samuel was born in that house. So it's a house with a lovely heart.
Finding a house for you this week that you're going to walk in and love with all of the passion that you used to love, the one that was such a happy house for you, is going to be extremely difficult.
We're still hopeful.
I
believe it can happen.
I think it can. I think it's just about a feeling.
I'm quite nervous about the sight of this book and
My little scrapbook.
My Dream Home, Inspirational Ideas.
I guess it's having been looking for our dream house for so long, what we've done is we've seen a lot of houses or pictures that kind of are inspirational to us, and kind of capture what we're trying to create and find.
Let's just talk about the things that are most important to you in the house.
It needs to have a feeling of space, light and space. 4 bedrooms, preferably an ensuite. Home office.
Home office would be great.
4 bedrooms and an office.
Ideally. Then there is this other little sort of bolt-on, which is the possibility of having an annex for my mum, who's nearly 80.
That's a very extensive list of requirements.
We don't want to compromise too much, because...
You know you're going to somewhere along the line. It's just a
Not
question
necessarily.
of what time.
I still believe that it is all out there.
That's why they've been looking for 3.5 years. Their other slight problem is a search area that just happens to be in 2 of the most expensive counties in England, Berkshire and Buckinghamshire. Their wish list is getting my heart racing as well, but for all the wrong reasons. They want a 4-bedroom character property.
With a sizable office and a granny annex. It should be semi-rural.
Oh, and it's also got to have a heart and a special feeling. Just excuse me while I have a quick lie down.
Well, if it's any consolation, my search in Hertfordshire is equally tricky. For IT engineer Daniel Kennoy and his partner Louise Redding, everything's in a bit of a muddle. They're both nearly 30, but still living with their parents, his during the week and hers at the weekends, and their belongings get shuffled on a regular basis.
It's not ideal.
Our life's up in the air really at the minute.
I think we both feel like we're a bit in limbo and we're not settled, are we? Just a bit unsettled.
9 months ago, they sold their small house in Stevenage to look for somewhere bigger. They're desperate to get married and have children, but the house must come first. With £245,000, Louise wants to set up home near her parents in Ware, an attractive historical town just 25 miles from London. Daniel, on the other hand, would like to find somewhere cheaper.
I'm more for location, whereas Daniel's more for the size of the
mortar.
property, regardless of location. Would you say that's fair?
Yeah.
They've viewed 30 properties in 9 months and they're no nearer to resolving their differences.
To compound the problem, Daniel's used to calling his own shots as manager of local football team Barton Rovers.
It does take up a huge amount of time, but, you know, it's something that I love.
Time to love something else, Dan. They're both well into extra time with this property search and I have one task: get them out of Mum and Dad's.
Your family are in Ware, Louise. You want to be as close to home as possible.
Yes.
And this is where our stumbling block is. I'm willing to explore all avenues and all areas for the right house.
I mean, I'm presuming you're thinking about saving up for a wedding.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So obviously that's something.
Yeah,
you
I mean,
want to
this
do
is
as
the
well.
first step before marriage and kids, and that can happen because we haven't got home together.
My experience is that men compromise more than women on house purchases because even if both parties are working, they do think, oh, actually, she minds more about the actual house. And,
I agree.
And Daniel's shaking his head again. But that is my experience.
So it's a small house in expensive Ware or a larger house elsewhere. I've got £245,000 to play with, and for that, Dan and Louise want a 3-bedroomed house big enough for their future family.
They don't mind doing a bit of work to it, so long as it's got off-street parking and a decent-sized garden.
Sounds simple, doesn't it?
I'm going to hold my hands up. I am not qualified to help Ian and Sarah.
That's quite a statement.
I've never met a couple who are so transfixed on the house that they've sold years ago that that's actually stopping them move forward and choosing another one. How about Dan and Louise?
Louise thinks she can live in Ware. She can't live in Ware. I've got to persuade her of that. Once she realises that, we'll go and find her house somewhere else.
And you can't just tell her, you'll have to show her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's show and tell, I think. That's what we need.
We've got a cool £1 million to find that elusive house with a heart for Sarah and Ian around Buckinghamshire and Berkshire.
And a tight £245,000 to find a place that will keep both Dan and Louise happy in Hertfordshire.
The property market might be getting some momentum back into it, but people are still hedging their bets when it comes to putting their houses up for sale. That means any plum properties are being snapped up quickly. But I'm kicking off with a corker for Sarah and Ian in Cookham Dean, a hugely sought-after village and one of their favourite locations.
This is the first up, specifically chosen for the location. First reaction to the house?
It looks very attractive.
Good.
This property has pretty much everything on their wish list. 4 bedrooms, 2 reception rooms, a high-spec kitchen and an amazing annex that would work as a granny flat or somewhere to run their business from. This impressive property sits nicely on 1/3 of an acre. It is over their £1 million budget, but our reliable sources tell us that it's about to be reduced in price.
Now, the house is built 9 years ago. I think it's a lovely family house for a contemporary way of living.
Yeah.
The balance and the flow of it, I think, is excellent. And then leading through into the kitchen, which is, again, very modern and contemporary.
Oh, lovely, yeah. No, this is lovely. I think it would definitely go in my book, in my scrapbook. It's...
Well, it is?
Yes!
Whoa!
We've got a kitchen so far.
Way to
then.
go!
It's light, it's spacious, and it's great family living, and yeah, I love it.
And how's it working in terms of the heart and soul?
I'd say there's more of a soul in this part of the house than there is in that part of the house. I suppose my concern is, again, as much as this is a gorgeous room, and I do love the kitchen, is that I'm looking outside to the garden and it's looking small.
If that is the issue, we'll tackle that right now.
Okay.
Come on out, see what you think. So they've spent a fair bit of money sort of landscaping it.
Okay.
Yep.
into different entertaining areas. You've got this one, you've got one over there.
It's beautifully done, and I can see the landscaping, the attention to detail has been amazing. I'm just a bit concerned that the house feels a bit like it's sunk into the hill.
Yeah, and it's a compromise that I wouldn't be prepared to make.
Fine. My compromise for this house was budget.
Oh, OK.
£1,150,000.
If it was £200,000 less, I still wouldn't compromise on the plot.
OK.
Ooh, that hurts. But I think there's still a chance to redeem myself. After all, it does have a lot going for it.
Separate entrance.
I like this.
Has to be one of the best home offices I've ever
This
seen.
is stunning.
This is beautiful. This is really nice.
OK. So now I understand compromise, because this is fantastic. I don't get that.
Why don't you guys just have a bit of time together? Explore the bedrooms yourselves. That's if Ian is interested in it.
I'm open to look upstairs.
OK.
Might they be starting to feel the love?
It starts to be a bit small.
Yeah, it's not as much space upstairs as I thought there would be. It doesn't work for me at the moment. Doesn't work for me.
Maybe not.
You've had a good look round upstairs?
Yep, we have.
Gathered your thoughts?
Yep.
Are they combined?
Yeah.
We agree on upstairs, yeah.
So it's felt a little bit small.
Not quite there yet.
Sounds like it's quite a long way off. Oh dear. Bedrooms are too small, gardens too small, and yet it's too expensive. Doesn't quite tally up, does it?
Dan and Louise are back living with their parents and can't agree where to buy their new house. Louise will only live in Ware in Hertfordshire, close to her family, and Dan just wants the biggest house he can get for his money. Anywhere. They've got 245 grand, and for their budget, this 2-bed mid-terraced is the best property we found in Ware. So everything's simple. They either live here or resort to Dan's plan.
This is not a good start.
It's a terraced,
Yes.
which kind of makes me think it's going to be quite small and pokey inside.
Is it a 2-bedroom?
Yeah, currently, yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's go in.
Yeah.
You come into the front room at least.
Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah.
And then we'll see how it goes.
This viewing is all about what Louise is prepared to give up to be close to her family in Ware. However, the 2 double bedrooms are charming. The sitting room is a good size, as is the garden. Plus, there's opportunity to extend if they have more than one child, and given that it's on the market for nearly $230,000, they'll have $15,000 to put towards the cost.
A house like this would get you into Ware, onto the Ware property ladder. There are other houses in the street which have extended to give you the 3rd bedroom and the upstairs bathroom and a larger kitchen at a cost of approximately £25,000.
Location-wise, you've hit the nail on the head.
Definitely.
For what Louise wants.
I like the location, but in terms of house size, I think it's too much of a compromise.
This house is what you can afford in Ware.
Tough love is always the best policy.
Your fear was that it would have a small garden. How does this rate?
This is small.
OK. I mean, am I wrong in thinking that the principal reason to be in Ware is childcare?
Yeah.
Not
Number one.
Number one, exactly. That is my quandary at the moment, is gauging how strong the need to be in Ware is.
For the type of money that we've got, stretching ourselves every month to make, those mortgage payments, and it'd always feel like a compromise in a house this size that you're kind of thinking, why am I stretching myself every month for something that I'm not entirely happy in?
Oh dear. If they can't agree on this, they're destined to live out their days in their parents' spare room.
What did you think of the kitchen?
It's quite small.
Yeah, it's quite small.
It's got a downstairs bathroom as well, which
This
obviously
must
means
be
there's
bedroom
not one
number
upstairs.
2.
It is a typical 2 up, 2 down house, though, isn't it? It does tick some boxes, but just not enough for me.
No.
I couldn't be more sympathetic. But this is a chat they should have had before. I'm here to find them a house. And if I'm too sympathetic, it'll stop me being tough enough to force them to see the realities of the situation.
They simply don't have enough money to find the family house they want in this area. For Dan, this is a no-brainer, but I don't think Louise has accepted it yet.
OK, guys. That's a no, obviously.
Yes.
I think that's safe to say.
Yeah. Can I look further afield?
I'm open to location. I think Louise is probably within reason.
OK. OK. Right. Not sure whether we've reached a conclusion yet, but we'll plough on.
It's all getting a bit awkward, and I'm pretty sure it's not my fault.
Don't want a word from you. Not a word.
I had a low moment.
Did you?
Yeah.
What, with a £1 million budget? Oh, dear.
Well, he said to me if this house was 200 grand cheaper, it still wouldn't be right.
Oh, OK.
That's a low moment.
Yeah, that is a low
with a £1
moment.
million budget.
Yeah.
So I am sensing trickiness.
OK.
I'm sensing pickiness, stickiness, and everything else-ness that I don't particularly like just at the moment.
Yeah. No, I had no, no and no. The problem is they want to be in wet. They can't afford to be in wet. I showed them what they could afford in wet, and it was like, oh, it's way too small.
There's compromises as ever.
I know. I compromise on a daily basis.
Shut up. I know exactly what you meant with that.
Moving on, this time to Chesham, a delightful market town in Buckinghamshire. Ian and Sarah sold their much-loved house, and they've spent the last 3.5 years trying to find somewhere that has as much heart. It definitely wasn't beating in the first place we showed them, but I can hear it loud and clear in this stunning Grade 2 listed Georgian property. Yes, there is a bit of road noise, but I think the house itself will make up for it.
This is all the same property.
OK.
This is possibly one of the most charming houses I've ever seen. It has one downside, which we've just walked along. Yeah. It has a carport with electric doors that you drive straight in and you get out the car. You never stand out there.
I think it would only be carol singers and things that would use the front door.
Apart from that, it's a dream.
Let's just get your reactions to the position of the house. So.
Nervous.
Nervous.
Only because with a 5-year-old.
Yeah, no, I totally understand
But
that.
of course you walk in here and this picture probably is in my book.
You know, when I first came in here, I thought the same.
Yeah, no,
Stunning.
it is.
And so I don't know, but nervous.
My advice, just lock the front door, because this place does have a drawing room, a dining room, a study, a huge kitchen, 5 double bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a garage, an outbuilding ripe for conversion, all set in a beautiful garden.
I'll be very interested to see how this one balances out, because again, we've had to take them slightly over budget at 1.1 million.
Oh my gosh. It's beautiful.
It's a gorgeous kitchen.
That's the joy of this house.
We talked a lot this morning about heart, and that was so central to what you're looking to achieve. Is it here?
Yes, it has got a great heart. I want to see some more of it, please.
OK, well, I'll take Sarah upstairs.
Ian, why don't you and I look out the garden? I know that's important to you.
That'd be great.
The garden is 1/3 of an acre.
OK. It's got a lovely formal start to it.
In here is an old stable.
It's great. I'm not sure whether it'd be large enough for an annex, although saying that, it'd be a great size for a home office.
I just find myself like a stuck record about this house. Everything. It's just sitting here admiring that old built-in cupboard in the fireplace. And it just works.
It's beautiful. I mean, there's just no contest. It's got so much character, so much heritage. It's just beautiful.
You can see why I wasn't exaggerating when I said it was one of the most charming houses I've seen.
Absolutely.
So what do you reckon to it then, Ian? Pretty sizable garden.
It's a good size.
It's delivering.
It is delivering. I suppose my slight concern is it rural enough with all sides, you know, the property and the garden surrounded by either other gardens or other properties.
Sure. Well, I can't deny it is in the middle of Chesham, but to get a house of this quality surrounded by fields, we're talking at least another 200 grand, which they don't have.
It's either going to really grab you and say, take me, I'm yours, or it's not.
Such a beautiful house. If anything did go wrong and we're pushed right to the nth degree, we might not have funds to be able to lovingly cherish it like it deserves.
Often I show these houses to clients and then they end up not buying them because, for that very reason, is that they're slightly scared of them.
Yeah.
And I always think, oh, at this time I really want someone to buy the beautiful house.
There's so much about it that ticks the boxes. You know, interior-wise, it's beautiful.
There's some buts. Yeah, there's some buts. There's a budget butt. There's a semi-rural butt. There's also, it doesn't join up brilliantly.
Oh, dearie me, I'm struggling. It just feels that he's concentrating on the negatives rather than looking at how, all the things that it does.
All I can say is that something's missing. We are missing something. It may be staring us in the face, but there is something we're not getting about this move.
So then, what's it to be?
It sounds to me like it's a maybe from Sarah, but a no from Ian.
If push came to shove, I'll go for a no.
Okie doke. Shall we leave this one?
Yep.
Okay.
Bye-bye, lovely house.
Bye-bye, lovely house.
I feel a bit sorry for Sarah because I think she really liked this house. But for Ian, it still wasn't as good as their old place. And that's our problem.
A new morning and I'm back with Dan and Louise. I'm hoping they've had a good old chat about exactly where they want to live, because I don't want any more of that uncomfortable atmosphere we had yesterday. We're in Standon, only 15 minutes from Louise's beloved Ware, a happy compromise where you get more for your money.
So here we are, off-street parking, 3 beds, end of terrace.
It's not too bad. Looks a lot bigger than the last one.
A lot
definitely.
bigger than the last one.
Good.
So do you feel more enthusiasm about going in than you did in the last house?
Definitely.
Yeah,
Right.
much more.
Right, in we go. After you, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, this is all a bit jollier, and quite right too. This house has 2 reception rooms, 3 good-sized bedrooms, and a conservatory leading out onto a big garden. It's a bit dated, but at £5,000 under budget, there's a bit of money left over for titivation.
What's your feeling? People say, oh, it's only the first room, it's only the first room, but I do believe in the 11-second rule. I think people make decisions very, very quickly.
I know, it's quite hard to say, really. It hasn't got a wow factor, but it's
well
something
kept.
to work with, I
It's
think.
beautifully kept, and that is one of the major things about this house that I really think works for you.
I agree.
If you wanted to retile the kitchen or the bathroom, all these things are things you could do gradually in the summer months, Daniel, when there was no football.
Yeah.
So, what we've got here is kitchen and then slightly separate dining area.
Okay.
Kitchen's not a bad size, is it?
No.
Is there anything about it, Louise, which is making your heart sing?
I wouldn't say sing, but then there's nothing about it that I dislike so far.
Just remind me again how long the search has been going on.
9 months.
9 months.
And you're now living with your parents and your parents.
Yes.
Right, enough's enough. With Dan out of the way, it's time to get a decision out of Louise.
Is there singing? Is there a song rising up?
It ticks a lot of the boxes that we're both looking for in a house.
But
Obviously, the only bugbear is the location, but
what is it going to take to convince you that it's either smaller in Ware or not in Ware at all?
I am open-minded to other areas, and
I don't think you're convinced.
I think I am. If we can't have Ware, then as a preferred location we are both familiar with the Stevenage area. We've lived there for the past 2 years.
Okay.
Commute to work makes sense to
Be in Stevenage.
be in Stevenage.
Okay, we have progressed.
Good.
We have progressed. So that means If it can't be where, it should be Stevenage. Should we fish him out the garden? Break the good news.
What do you think?
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's got a lot of potential.
I just don't.
Madam wants Stevenage now. She's
vibe.
accepted that where isn't happening, and she's going all guns blazing for Stevenage.
Really?
Yep.
Well, if we can't have where then.
You done well. It only took me 9 months.
Hallelujah, we're back in sensible land. But now we've got to find them somewhere that's worth the sacrifice.
I'm struggling to find any property for Ian and Sarah that matches up to the last house they owned. Yes, they've got £1 million, but they want an awful lot for it. In my opinion, too much. Still, I'm quietly hopeful about the place I'm going to show them next. It's in the village of Knoll Hill, just west of Maidenhead. It's a fantastic detached house set in beautiful gardens.
What do you make of the setting and the style?
Good-sized house, good-sized plot. Setting, I think, is OK.
I like the drive up. I like the way it's sort of the house is set back, and
I can hear the A4 behind me.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the compromise.
But on the positive side, this would be most people's dream house. 3 reception rooms, 4 double bedrooms, self-contained granny annex cum office, and the best part, 3/4 of an acre of land, all under budget at £995,000.
Nicely done, Phil.
Come on in. Not a pretty impressive hallway.
yeah.
Now, the kitchen... It's not the best room in the house.
No.
Is it doing it for you?
It's not doing it for me.
Oh, come on, you do better than that.
Well, it is a small room for a kitchen, for a house that, you know, externally it looks a very large house. And if a kitchen is the heart of the house,
Yeah.
then the house has got a small heart.
It did have planning permission for quite a serious extension. It's just lapsed.
Okay.
But it was for a 2-storey extension to the side and a single storey to the rear. So it would vastly improve this space.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on then, let's keep going.
They will almost certainly get that planning permission again. I think it's very important for them to put their mark on a place, and Sarah might even be able to deploy that scrapbook at last.
So I don't think you could wish for more in
No.
terms of square footage.
It's got nice proportions, nice high ceilings, nice light.
Could you see yourselves here?
To make this house to its optimum, for us to really love it, I think will take quite a bit of investment.
It is a beautiful house. It could be a beautiful home.
Yes.
It's very possible to do.
I can feel it. I could feel it in this house.
Well, at least Sarah's starting to imagine how they'd live in this place, which for now I'll take as progress.
This is nice out here. It's a very handsome house.
Well, Sarah's being pretty positive. Ian's just being Ian. This place could be great. They just got to have the confidence to do the work. It could be fantastic. But you know what? I'm just not getting any buying signals again.
OK.
There's your issue, the noise.
I can hear it from both sides now, obviously.
Trying to find the house that we're trying to find in a rural location without noise, with all the things that we want, maybe we're in the wrong area.
I would have said with 3.5 years of house hunting and 90 rejected properties, perhaps that penny should have dropped a lot earlier.
We know the brief's tough. You know, 1, we were very emotionally attached to our last property. 2, we are looking for a lot now. But I think when you're laying down roots for your family life, you don't compromise.
But the reality is, the restrictions of budget entail compromise. That's life. And there is no point looking for something if it doesn't exist. It's just pointless.
Maybe the compromise that we have to consider is completely shifting area.
So, from here on, can we ignore geographic boundaries?
Yeah.
OK. I think it's time for a
to show us the perfect property that's just within our reach.
If only it was that simple.
OK, so we've got a whole new search on our hands. But where to look? Well, in my mind, there's only one candidate, Oxfordshire. Here, you keep the high quality of houses, but because it's further from London, you're not paying quite such a premium. After some frantic searching, one house has emerged as a clear front runner. It's a stunning farmhouse conversion in the pretty village of Dry Sandford, just 6 miles south of Oxford. And it's £125,000 under budget.
First thoughts?
It's a nice finish from outside.
You've done it beautifully.
Yeah, now you can see again, finishing on this is lovely.
I'd love to see inside.
Come on in.
There's nearly 2,500 square foot of living space with a fantastic open-plan kitchen diner and 4 double bedrooms, all finished to the highest of standards.
Outside there's a double garage which is crying out for conversion and half an acre of beautiful gardens. The amazing thing is, in some parts of Buckinghamshire, it would cost over £400,000 more.
In you come through these rather magnificent doors
Oh my gosh, wow.
into what I hope you'll think is quite a special house.
This is beautiful.
Lovely kitchen.
It is absolutely beautiful. The guy who lives here is a builder, and he's obviously taken particular care building his own house. I think they've created really sensational, open family living.
Gorgeous space, fabulous. We could live in here, but, you know, if you want my own... the road again. Sorry, chaps, but, you know, that again, I can... the road.
There is a road out there. There's a road outside most houses. I don't think it interrupts life in the house.
I guess this whole process is making us realise quite how spoilt we were in our house in Hedgley. It was a beautiful old house, and we didn't have noise.
Just remind me of how much you sold that 800 square foot for.
£700,000.
Okay. This is on the market for 875,000. So for an additional 175,000,
Okay. Yeah.
you get
Vast amount more.
a vast amount more.
Okay.
1,400 square feet more. Maybe this'll be enough to put their last house to bed for good.
There aren't that many houses with annexes and big plots. And please don't take this the wrong way, but over the days that we've spent together, I've seen you both, I think more so Ian, walk into a house and immediately spot the compromise and the niggle.
He tends to see the negatives. I'll go in with the yay. Let's just look for it and let's find it. And somewhere that has worked in the past because we found our house. We were very happy in that.
And you
I have
haven't
hope.
managed it.
No, not yet. But you know, people do take a long time sometimes to find their next dream house.
At the end of the day, of course, it's their choice. But I reckon it's not making a decision that would be the regret.
Nice.
OK, this is a good-sized guest room.
Yeah. No, I think all the rooms up here are light, all beautifully done out.
Double glazing, so actually
Don't hear the road as much.
back here the road's not too bad.
Oh, the bathroom looks lovely.
Trying to look for some niggles and problems with the house itself, but the house itself, I really like it.
There's a turnaround. It's Ian being the positive one. To add to his joy, we've also got some quality options for the annex.
So, crux issue. Double garage. And if you were to want to make it bigger, this is where you'd extend into.
Yeah.
The house is in a green belt, but this garage, annex, workshop, whatever you want to call it, would fall under its rights of permitted development.
Yeah, I think it's beautifully done, so I can see that being quite a nice little project.
So the conclusion is there's pretty much nothing wrong with this place.
Finish is good, the size is good, the layout is good.
In a fantastic budget, actually, I have to say.
Fantastic budget.
It's
and
all
that's
sounding
it.
very good. Excellent. Great.
You know, obviously we don't know the area that well because it is a new area for us. Initial thoughts are very positive.
No, I think what you've done is opened up a big new opportunity for us.
Well, you opened it up by being happy to come out here and look.
This is my hallelujah moment. After such a breakthrough, I think I deserve a huge pat on the back.
OK, that's enough self-congratulation, Phil. Time for you to hot-foot it back to Hertfordshire so that we can show Dan and Louise our final property. After all the toing and froing, they've managed to agree that Stevenage is the town for them.
Less than half an hour's commute from London, it might not be pretty, but it is practical. And that's why competition is rife for its affordable family houses.
But we've had an early tip-off about this spacious 3-bedroomed semi. Because it needs a bit of TLC, it's on at 205 grand, 40,000 below their budget. So, not surprisingly, I'm eager to show them this house. But as day turns to night, we have a slight problem. Reliable old Phil is caught in traffic.
Why are we waiting? We're waiting for Phil Spencer. I'm fiddling with my lipstick, which is a really bad sign, and he knows that. This is my special James Bond lipstick with the poisoned tip.
Poor Dan and Louise have resorted to looking around the area at night, while I just get very bored.
Ah, there you are.
It's all quiet here.
It's very quiet. What sort of time do you call this?
Rush hour.
It's not rush hour. You haven't rushed
probably-
anywhere.
It's probably
You're an
after
hour
rush
and a
hour.
half late.
Yeah.
You're looking for a loo, aren't you?
There's no loo.
No, but there is in here.
Without a loo.
OK, compose yourself. There's work to be done.
Hi, you two.
Hiya.
Hello.
Sorry, it's entirely my fault. Kept you
problem.
waiting.
No problem.
But Kirstie tells me it's a lovely house with a great garden.
It's a lovely house with a great garden. Can you see it?
Yes.
It's a semi, as requested.
We like
Yeah.
semis.
With a garage, as requested, and off-street parking, as
Yeah,
requested.
don't lay it on too thick. Because you've been like this all week.
Come on, let's get in. You can't see anything out here.
Am I forgiven yet?
You'll be fossilised before I forgive you.
I might not know where the loo is, but believe me, I'm up to speed with this one. And I'm in the mood for 2 direct hits in one day. Well, as you can see immediately, it's been lived in by an elderly person. It's actually a probate sale.
Right.
And it's on the market at 205,000.
Try me.
And this is a huge sitting room.
That figure obviously gives us a lot of room to play with in terms of putting a stamp on
Yeah.
the property.
And what do you make of it, Louise?
First impressions, this room's a nice size, just really needs a bit of updating.
Yeah.
We can both see past that, can't we?
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll have a to-do list.
I think you might have a couple.
Yes.
So up here, Louise, you've got bathroom, loo, 1, 2, 3 bedrooms. You were very good in the last house, Louise. You just said, right, that's it, OK, we can't buy and where, it'll be Stevenage then.
It's hard, but at the end of the day, sometimes you have to be a bit practical about things.
Do you look at this house and feel more positive?
I think so far.
Well, Daniel, a bit more work to do.
Yep. It's a good size. That's the main thing.
Well, I think we can make it quite a bit bigger because you can take this wall out
Okay.
and open it up into here. We've already had a builder look round. Knocking down the wall, rewiring and putting in new units would cost around 12 grand. Well within that 40,000 they'd have left over from the asking price.
If I'm honest, probably Louise would probably struggle to live in it and do the work at the same time.
Yeah.
As long as our parents are kind of up for it, that we can live still at their place while work in progress kind of thing here. So that may swing it.
Look, why don't you go and see what the other half thinks?
Okay.
I should probably do the same.
It's a nice size.
It is actually, isn't it? So what do you think?
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's a lot of work. A lot of work though.
How you doing up there?
It's a big house, it's got a lot of potential, definitely.
Potential that you'd be happy to explore?
I think I'd like to sleep on it.
Yeah,
What
so
do you
there's
think?
a lot to take in, and it's whether we're up for the challenge, who we can rope in to help
Yeah.
if we take it on.
Well, don't expect any help from Phil Spencer now if you want the job done on time.
Come on, I'll buy you all a drink.
You go first then. Check he's got his wallet, Daniel, I've heard that before.
What was that about 2 direct hits? I think I've had a pretty good day.
Well, let's see what tomorrow brings, hey? Dan and Louise have had a good night's sleep and time to mull over the pros and cons of this 3-bed semi in Stevenage. And this time they get to see the garden in all its daylight glory. At £205,000, it's the biggest and cheapest place we've seen. I think it's the one they should go for.
I'm pleased to be back. What about you two?
I agree with you. It is a good house. It's just the magnitude of work. And we were kind of trying to put properties that we'd seen in and around this area in a kind of top 3, top 5 scenario. And it did come in the top 5.
Yeah.
Top 5?
It did come in the top 5.
Wasn't even in the top 3.
It was close.
I know that those other properties were a lot more expensive, and I sense they're risk averse. So, maxing their mortgage is not a good plan.
So this is the garden that you didn't get a chance to see yesterday. What do you think?
It's a good-sized garden.
You don't need to spend a fortune on this house. You know that you can spend up to £245,000, but it doesn't mean you have to spend up to £245,000. What do you want in the house? Is it a big bedroom, big kitchen?
I would say probably a big kitchen with a nice dining area as well.
And if our builder's anything to go by, just £12,000 should be enough to provide Louise with her own domestic heaven.
My feeling is it's on the market at £205,000. Let's say you get it for £200,000 maybe, you never know. But what I don't want you to do is spend more than £220 on it at the end of the day. Go in that house, have a look at that kitchen.
Okay.
I don't want them to beggar themselves to buy a house. They've got their lives, they've got a future family. They need a house which they won't grow out of, which isn't a struggle to keep up.
That's obviously the main shed. Be used for some sort of utility room. That wall, I think, only comes back to about there, so that's where the living room wall must end.
So about potentially take that out and...
Yeah, make it a bit more open. But it's not a bad size.
No, it's not.
Right. What do you think?
It's got lots of potential, hasn't it?
Yeah,
There's no getting away from that.
Potential is the key word, I think, for the house.
Do you want to go and have a drink and chat it through?
I think drink's a good idea.
I'm usually pretty good at reading people, but I have to admit I've struggled with Dan and Louise, and I'm just not able to call this one.
At least you're still in with a chance. I, on the other hand, have been blown out completely. Overnight, Sarah and Ian rejected the beautiful house in Oxfordshire. It was one of the best places they've viewed, but given it's in a new area, understandably they want to see what else is out there.
So how are you feeling today?
If this has proved nothing more, it actually has shown us that what we're trying to do is not achievable in the areas we've been looking for. And so, having shown us and tempted us out that bit further, we now have that belief that we can find it, and we're not just blue skying it, we're not just dreaming.
You were dreaming. There was an awful lot of hope.
There was.
There was hope.
And now, looking in Oxfordshire, there is belief.
The fourth property certainly proved that, as you said, because that came well within budget and there were only a few small glitches.
We'd lost our way a little bit, and maybe we're going over the same ground looking for the same things in an area that can't achieve it. So this has really, allowed us to kind of refocus.
There's nothing on the market that's worth us going to see now, and we have put in a vast amount of research.
I think someone once said to me that the toughest paths lead to the best destinations, and I think sometimes, it's been a tough path, it's been a long journey, so, but it's out there, I know it is.
I certainly hope that's true. But 2 months down the line, Sarah and Ian are still searching for their elusive dream home. We left them with a new search area in Oxfordshire. But, surprise, surprise, old habits die hard.
The whole sort of search with Phil and Kirstie, what it did was it really brought into focus that we quite like it here.
Well, it's good to see their boundless optimism remains intact. After a brief flirtation with the new area, they're continuing their love affair with their old one and sticking to Buckinghamshire and Berkshire.
We are still very confident that our house is out there. We are going to find the house that we want.
And it will be found in the end.
We wish you all the luck in the world, guys, but you'll have to forgive us if we don't hold our breath. In Hertfordshire, Dan and Louise decided not to offer on the last house we showed them. But thankfully, they did take our advice. They stuck with Stevenage and 4 weeks later found a house to call home. Now they're on the verge of moving in.
We should be in by the end of the month, which is really exciting.
Yeah.
So now we're just spending our weekends looking at home stores, furniture stores.
Yeah, fitting it around football.
Some things never change, Dan, but they're not hanging around. Plans are well underway for a total revamp of the kitchen, if they can agree on what they want to do.
Instead of arguing about finding a house now, we're arguing about what to do with it once we move in. So yeah, I suppose it just brings different challenges, I suppose. But yeah, it's nice, something to look forward to.
Definitely. It's exciting.
They snapped up this great 3-bedroomed house for £250,000 after it was reduced from £275,000. Still, that was £5,000 over their budget. And with the work they want to do to it, they may have to stay in their parents' good books for a little while to come.
We might continue to live at parents for a couple of weeks.
Just while we're getting the painting and the bits and pieces done.
I don't think they know that yet, so...
No. You do now.
But with a place of their own finally in their sights, a bit more time living with the in-laws isn't so bad. Finding the right home will do that to you.